Hey, how are you? I'm so glad that you're here. Today we are going to talk about our 2020 goal setting for a goal weight. I hope that you have a piece of paper and a pen because we're going to kind of do this workshop style. I'd like you to write some things down, jot some notes, and that would be fantastic. I do want to interact with everybody, so say hello to me down there in the comments. Give me a thumbs up or a like if you like what you're seeing. And let's get started. So today I want to talk about how to set a weight loss goal for 2020. This is the perfect time. Might as well get started right before the holidays, get going so that we have that momentum and we can already be well into our weight loss goal come 2020 instead of being like everybody else, making a New Year's resolution and starting on January 1st. So the first thing that I suggest we all do is just pick a weight that you want to weigh. Not in a time frame either. I know a lot of us have done like the SMART goals, and those are really good, but for weight loss, I don't really like to put a timeline on it because I think that we feel extra pressure, and then we try to do crazy weight loss tactics and shenanigans, and that stuff doesn't work, okay? I've tried it. I know it doesn't work. So pick a weight. Now, what I think most of you do, and I've done in the past, is my brain wants to go to my past and how much I used to weigh, like how much I weighed when I first started being a paramedic, which was about 100 pounds less than when I started my weight loss journey. So, or like for other women, it's like, oh, I want to weigh what I weighed before I had kids. Or if you're a guy, like maybe what I weighed in college would be fantastic. I don't really want you to go there, right? Because you're not who you used to be. Like we've completely changed. For women, our hormones are probably fairly different, especially me. I'm in my mid 40s. So I can't probably ever get and look like that again. So we want to pick a weight where we think is reasonable for who we are and where we are right now in our life. So in your head, think about a weight right now and write that number down. And then I'd like you to just subtract 5 pounds because most of us try to go for a more obtainable weight instead of trying to push ourselves a little bit. So just subtract 5 pounds from there. It's totally cool. The next thing I want us to work on, and this is kind of where I want you to write this down, is we need to come up with a compelling reason why we want to lose weight. Now, listen, it can be like because you want to look good in a bathing suit or yoga clothes, or you want to look good in your flight suit and it not be tight when you zip it up, right? But you have to come up with a really good, compelling or motivating reason, because when we are working on the holiday and we show up in the emergency department and they've got treats everywhere, that compelling reason's got to be pretty good to kind of overcome all those treats. So your reason has to be really good. And I like everybody to have 3 compelling reasons, because we'll be in different situations or we'll need motivation for different times. And so coming up with 3 reasons is a really good idea. So this is how you do it. I did a blog post on it. I don't know when, but you can check out my website at hemscoach.com. And I would just like to mention before I talk about the compelling reasons, if you're new to me and you found me from my personal Facebook page and you're wondering what HEMS even means, well, then I know you're not in HEMS. So HEMS is for Helicopter Emergency Medical Services. That's what I do. And so in case you're wondering, that's what that's about. So our compelling reason. So you ask yourself, why do I want to lose weight? So you write that down and then ask yourself why again. Be like, yeah, but why do I want to, have a smaller flight suit? Okay, why? And then ask yourself 5 times. I know that seems like a lot, but we really want to get to the really core reason why you want to lose weight. And that looks different for everybody. Okay, so just keep asking yourself why up to 5 times and then write those reasons down. Now, here's what I also want to say about these compelling reasons. I want you to memorize these. I want you to write these things down everywhere. Post-it notes. I'm obsessed with Sharpie markers and Post-it notes. And so everywhere around my house and in my car and even in some spaces at work, I have Post-it notes with motivation. So write your compelling reasons on Post-it notes, put it in your office, in the bathroom, in your bedroom, in the car. Okay, I really want you to constantly be saying these motivating reasons in your head, these compelling reasons. And then another thing that you can do, this is kind of just some hacks, is you can change the screensaver on like your phone or your iPad or even your desktop computers, whatever, and put those reasons on there. Like there's free tools called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, where you can make nice little infographic type things like slides, like from slideshows. That's what I use for a lot of my stuff. And so you can just type in those words, put it on a nice background, save it as a screensaver. So you're constantly thinking about it. It's not just something that we like write down and then we never look at again, right? You really need to be looking at it and thinking about it all the time. So another tip that I love is whenever the time is like 10:10 or 11:11, 12:12, 13:13, you get where I'm going here, right? Every time you see those times, think about and review those motivating or compelling reasons in your head. That would be a great way so that you're constantly thinking about it. So commit to memorizing. Let's see, I have notes, which from the last time that I reviewed and edited my last Facebook Live, again, I'm learning a lot of things that I do that are kind of annoying. So I've changed how I view my notes. All right, so the next thing is obstacles, otherwise known as what are your excuses? What are the reasons why you think you can't lose weight? Write them down. Why can't you lose weight? What's getting in your way? Right? And go all in right here, you guys. Like really write down all the excuses, all the reasons. Like don't be shy. It's work. It's my husband. It's my kids. It's my job. I don't have time. I don't have enough money. Whatever these reasons are, okay? I want you to have a really big list because I know that you have one because I had one. I still have a small little list of reasons why I can't keep going or whatever. So really write those obstacles down. And now I want to ask you about your commitment level. Like, how committed are you to losing weight? Are you like a little bit on the fence? So think about the pain scale, 0 to 10. This is also the commitment scale. 0 is like, I got nothing. I can't do anything. And 10 is like, I am all in. We're doing this. Like, nothing is going to stop me. So where are you on a commitment level? Think about it right now. Write it down on your piece of paper or type it in the comments. I would love to know what everybody's at. If you want to be successful with weight loss, you really should be at about a 7 or better. Listen, it takes a lot of commitment, right? It takes knowing what that compelling reason is, knowing what your end goal is, right? There's all these things that compile up to have our weight loss. And so you have to be really committed and you have to be willing to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, right? Because that's where all the growth happens. Well, if you're losing weight, it's where all the subtraction comes from. But like we have to be uncomfortable a little bit in order to lose weight. So now here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about someone who has already lost weight, somebody that you know, somebody that you don't know, and imagine them in your mind's eye and ask yourself, what do you think is different about them than you? Like, how come they lost weight and you didn't? What are the things that they have that maybe you don't? I'm looking at my notes. Don't want to forget anything. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so we're thinking about this person and what qualities do they have that you don't have? Okay, so now I want you to fast forward and I want you to think about yourself in 2020. Who knows what month it will be, but you're at your goal weight. You've gotten there. It's so amazing, right? Think about how awesome that is. Now, I would like you to head back over to that obstacles list, and we're going to come up with strategies to overcome every single one of them from that future self, from that person who lost all of their weight. I want you to answer those questions, figure out a way to overcome all those obstacles that you have written down. Now, I don't want you to say that you don't know how to do that, because your brain is the most powerful supercomputer that there is, and you need to just put it to work. When you say, I don't know, you close off all ability to come up with solutions. And that's not what we want to do. And by the way, you need to come up with solutions that work for you. I can give you suggestions and tell you things, but it's not the same when you come up with it yourself. So ask your future self, like, how would I find more time in the day to do the things that I need to do? How would I do this or solve this, right? You have to put your brain to work to solve this problem. Okay, so your commitment, we already talked about that. Strategies, write them all down. And I'm serious, for every single obstacle you wrote, you need to come up with a strategy to solve it and to overcome it. And you might not know, but just take a guess at a way that you could. Also you can kind of pretend like that you have all the money that you need. Like, I would hire a babysitter, or I would hire somebody to do all my food prep for me, or something like that. Okay, so the logbook. I've been trying to come up with clever ways of talking about a logbook. Now, if you're in the aviation industry, like I am, then you're familiar with a logbook, right? It's something that our pilots have, and that they have to write everything down, and it is very important. Like, the pilots always have their logbook. They can't really go anywhere without it, and they keep very detailed information, right? So that if somebody needs to go back and look at things, they are able to do that. So instead of saying journal or diary or something like that, right, I decided I'm going to call it a logbook. Maybe that will resonate with my people a little bit more. So I really suggest that you get like a small, I got one of these. I got this at like Michael's. It was like in the dollar section. It's just kind of a small, it's not super big, but have something. I have another one here. This is a little bit bigger. This is the one that I use. I give these ones away to some of my clients. So it's like your weight loss logbook. You carry it with you everywhere. You write down all of the things in there, because what it is a form of data collection. And if you want to lose weight, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, is that you need to know what you're eating and you need to know what you're thinking, because you can have great thoughts or you can have crappy thoughts. And so you need to keep track of those, because how you think will determine the results that you get in your life. So everybody get a logbook, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to put in your logbook. Let's see if I do this right here. Here's your logbook checklist. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about failure, and just knowing that you are going to fail at times when we attempt weight loss. It's inevitable. Everybody fails. Now, we're not used to living our life like this. We're used to saying things like failure is not an option. Like, I can't fail. Like, it's terrible. We get F's in school, and that's the worst possible grade that you can get. And we are never taught how to actually fail. And that's a total bummer, because when we fail at things, then we know that doesn't work and that we have to try something else. When you do weight loss, you are going to fail, but that does not mean that you should give up or quit. It just means that part didn't work. So you need to keep moving forward and not be afraid to fail. Because let's think about it. Like if you overeat, then you're like, well, I'm a failure. I totally effed that up, right? You don't have to think like that. You can be like, oh, that's interesting. I overate. I wonder why. This is how that feels in my body. And you're going to have to fail and learn, right? It's this big science experiment that we're doing. And with our logbook, it's just a way to keep track of the data, keep us thinking in the moment or thinking about our goals instead of kind of going on autopilot and letting our primitive brain run the program. That is not how we want to approach weight loss. So be willing to fail and be willing to suck at losing weight in the beginning. It's not easy. I ask you guys to do things that are maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone or a little bit different or super simple, but you don't think that that's good enough. But you got to do the simple things before you can do the advanced things. So plan on failing, 10, 15 times per week. Yeah, like that bad. But you just keep getting up, right? Just because we fail, just because we come up against resistance doesn't mean stop. It actually means keep going, right? I mean, think about all the diets that we've quit and we stopped doing. Why? Why did we do that? It's because we probably started to feel so uncomfortable. We've started to feel this discomfort of not wanting to keep moving forward, so we just quit, right? And then we blame the diet and say that it doesn't work. I don't want you guys to do that. I want to teach you how to lose weight in a way that you're just going to live it for the rest of your life, right? No gimmicks, no shenanigans, no bars and shakes and meal plans and workout plans. Like that is not what I teach. Okay, so here's the logbook checklist. In your little notebook, every single day, you're going to write the date. You're going to write your current weight. Yes, you do need to weigh yourself every single day. Every day. Every day. And when you write the number, just write the last two numbers. You don't need to write all three. It's not necessary. Just write the last two. It seems different. I'm not going to lie. Seems better. Okay, and then write your goal weight so that you can see the difference and then slowly track how it changes. Write down how much water you're drinking. Write out how many hours you slept, you guys. So the water and sleep are like the two greatest fat burners that you can totally get for free. So drink water, lots of water, right? I recommend 80 to 128 ounces. And I know what you're thinking about the sleep. We're in EMS. We have awkward schedules. Like we're not always going to get sleep. 8 hours is the best amount of sleep for fat burning purposes. And I understand those of us in EMS, we can't always sleep, right? I get it. It's complicated. I did a Facebook Live about it and some ways to kind of overcome that and some things that you can do to improve your sleep. So go check that out. The other thing you want to write down in your logbook is what kind of movement you're doing every day, whether it's a 5-minute walk or a 60-minute yoga session, something like that. Write down your 3 compelling reasons. This one here, this is fun, right? BLS, can you read that? Kind of started to run out of room there. BLS is breakfast, lunch, and supper. Remember, if you're eating 3 times a day, you're going to eat when you are a -2 and you're going to stop at a +2 and you're going to try and leave 2 bites of food behind. But I want you to write what you're planning on eating and then you write what you actually ate, right? We want those to be the same. It's just me. I want you to decide ahead of time what you're going to eat. And then I want you to actually eat it. Even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't want to, you still eat what you said you were going to eat, right? This starts to develop a better relationship with ourselves where we can trust ourselves. When we say we're only going to have 2 glasses of wine, we only have 2 glasses of wine, right? We make a plan and we follow it. And then the last thing there on the bottom is TDL, which is a thought download. I have also done a Facebook Live over in my private group on TDLs, and that's a thought download, and that's kind of like a journal or a diary. And it's really important that you just spend a couple minutes. And listen, this whole logbook situation should not take, including your writing, should not take any more than 10 minutes. And if you don't think you have 10 minutes to spend on your weight loss, I hate to tell you this, but like, it's going to be tough for you to be successful. That goes back to that whole commitment thing, right? If you're not committed to spending 10 minutes on doing some writing, right, you really need to evaluate if you really want to lose weight or not. That's how important this is. I know this from my own personal experience and with several of my clients. When we start to stop writing these things down every day, we start letting other things slide, right? We start doing the BLTs also. Do you guys know what those are? That's from the Weight Watchers days. Breakfast, bites, licks, and tastes. I like to call it grab ass now. I'll tell you how that all came about later. But whenever we have those little extra bites of food, right? Every bite matters. Literally every single bite you put in your body matters. So we don't want to do those anymore. But once we don't do all of these simple little things, right, everything else kind of starts to slide. So I did create a freebie. That's what I like to call it, a little freebie PDF download where you can get a copy of this checklist and then some prompts to do the thought download. Some people get a little bit of, they don't know what to write, and so they kind of freak out and then they don't know what to write. So I give you some topics that you can write on to just kind of get you going. And then the last thing that I want to go over, let's see how this works. This is my fantastic drawing skills. This is called the before and after. So this is you right now, the before model, and this is what your current weight is, right? And then this guy or gal over here is your after. This is when you get to your goal weight. And so what is in between here, right? These are all the decisions, all the steps, all the things that got you to where you are right now at your weight, right? And then these are the things that you need to do in order to get to this one right here. And then these are all the decisions and steps that you need to do to continue being at your goal weight. Now, this area right here in the middle is called the river of misery. That's no joke, my friends. It's not lovely over here in the losing weight phase of our before and after, right? But this is where all the magic happens. So here's what I want to tell you. All the things in your past, and we all want to go to our past all the time to like determine if we can lose weight, if we're going to be successful, how much we should weigh, stuff like that. But our past is not our fortune teller. Our past is our teacher. So we need to stop looking to the past for all the answers because they're not there. They're in the future. So, oh, that's what I was going to stop doing, was saying that. So, okay. Hopefully, I'll maybe edit that out when I repost it. What I want you to think about is each one of these little steps, right, is going to get us to our goal. Now, this is a nice straight line, but in reality, we'll make a decision and we go over here and then it comes back over here and we keep circling, right? We start to do something that gets uncomfortable because it's really uncomfortable here in the river of misery. And then we go back to the way we were. And then we are at our weight, our same weight again. And so we keep dipping our toe, so to speak, in the river of misery, and then we go back up, right? Instead of getting all the way over to here. Now, this whole area is going to require a lot of failure and a lot of trial and error. And you have to be willing to do that in order to actually get here, right? And then once you're here, I want it to be a lot easier for you to stay at your ideal body weight. And the reason why we can do that is because we did all of this yucky work, all this kind of discomfort. And by discomfort, I don't mean like real physical pain, but like when you want to eat something and you don't, right? We feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel normal. And what our brain wants to do is just go back to the way we were. But I'm asking you to just kind of sit with it. And I'm going to do a Facebook Live on how to sit and allow and process negative emotion like urges or over desire. And so that's something that I'm going to be doing in the future. But I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit here. So one of the things why I think working with a life and weight loss coach is so important is that I really help you in this area, and we find out why you don't want to do the things that you need to do to get you over here. But what the diet industry does is they take this stuff and then they try and short circuit you over here, right? They're like, oh, here, just follow this eating plan. You're just going to get right there. And then you get the results. But guess what? If you don't work on your brain and your thoughts and your thinking and your emotions, right, you're just going to go back. So I want you to go through the discomfort, through the river of misery. We don't want to create a bridge and hop over it, right? We don't want to use tactics. We don't want to be like, just eat bars and shakes. That'll be sustainable when you're 80, right? No, that's not how I teach weight loss. So here in this river of misery is kind of where we learn how to change how we eat. And that's where you can apply the weight loss basics, right? Remember what those are. So that's creating a 24-hour eating plan, eating to a -2 to a +2 and leaving 2 bites of food behind, drinking water, 80 to 128 ounces, moving your body every single day, and getting sleep. Yeah, I just had to look at my list to make sure I said them all right. So I just kind of wanted to just quickly show you kind of that before and after and get your head kind of wrapped around like what it's going to take in order for you to get to your goal weight. So I hope that that was helpful and that you have wrote a few things down. If you have any questions, you can put something in the comments. You can email me at val@hemscoach.com. I would love for you to join my private Facebook group. Please answer the questions. And then if you would like to grab that freebie download, you can go to, I'll put a link in the comments. I was actually having difficulties writing some stuff in the description of this Facebook Live. So hopefully I can get that cleaned up. But if you go to hemscoach.com/weight logbook, all smushed together, weight logbook. You will enter in your email, hit submit, and then you'll get it right away and you can print it off and then, use that as a reference to write in your little book every day. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you stopped by. I will be checking the comments. So if anybody has any questions that they'd like to put in there. Also, if you found this helpful and you think you have some friends or coworkers that would enjoy it, I would love for you to share it. That would be so awesome. So I will hopefully see you again in a few days. I'm hoping to do like 2 per week. I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone and I'm going to try and do 2 per week. So maybe not always with the background stuff, but for now I kind of like doing it. Like I said, I have an obsession with Sharpie markers, so this is really fun for me to do. So I hope you guys all have an amazing Thursday. It's Thursday. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.